Do you enjoy learning with Vibal? Make your experience even more exciting by becoming a Vibal Group fan. Exclusive perks await fan subscribers. Get access to exclusive webinars. Enjoy free teaching resources. Check out exclusive content. Get discounts on Vibal products. All of these for only 55 pesos a month. Exciting, right? Subscribe as a fan now. Here's how. Visit, click, follow. First, visit Vibal Group's Facebook page. Then click Become a Supporter to purchase a monthly subscription. Lastly, follow the prompts that appear on your screen. But don't confuse this for top fan. Nuh-uh, it's a different thing. You need to follow the easy steps. Visit, click, follow. Be a Vibal Group fan and enjoy exciting perks today.
Good day, Kavibal, and welcome to our Learn at Home Facebook Live session. For the discussion today, the topic will be on parenting in a VUCA world. Before we begin, take note of the following reminders. Make sure you are registered to the webinar to have your e-certificate of participation. Visit certificate.vibalgroup.com to generate your proof of attendance. Place your questions in the comment box allotted during the session and they will be addressed by our speaker later on. Share the video using hashtag LearnAs1PH as our official hashtag to our Vibal webinars. Experience learning, Kavibal. And now, to proceed with our webinar this evening, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our distinguished speaker today. Miss Donah Banaticla has a degree of Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Social Studies from University of St. LaSalle, Bacolod, Bacolod City. She took her Master of Arts in Social Sciences 2007 at the University of San Agustin, Iloilo, Iloilo City, and took audit courses in education in 2013 in James Madison University, Virginia, USA. A resource speaker and facilitator from different teachers training, a visiting scholar, international host, an awardee, national trainer in social studies, DepEd K-12 program and fellow, International Leaders in Education program in Washington, D.C., USA. At present, she is the principal of Colegio de San Agustin, Bacolod. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Miss Donna L. Banaticla.
Good evening, good evening. Thank you, Miss Jillian, for that kind introduction. Good evening, parents, and good evening, teachers too. Kamusta? Let me greet everyone belated Happy New Year from Teacher Donna. So again, thank you very much for the many wonderful learning opportunities that we've been experiencing since then here at Bebal. And of course, again, I welcome everyone to another Learn at Home session here at FB, courtesy of Vival Publishing. So let me share my screen for everyone. So again, my greetings to everyone. I know that we started already our classes again January 4, and it's been a week of pakikipaglaban para sa edukasyon ng ating mga kabataan. And of course, for our parents, again, I know it's very, very challenging, but we still keep on working and collaborating with our teachers, with our school, and with our fellow parents. Now, this evening, we are going to have a short discussion on this special topic of mine, parenting in the VUCA world. So again, I'm Teacher Donna. And let me walk you through on this relevant topic for us teachers and for us parents too. Okay, VUCA. Since then, we've been hearing the word VUCA. And parenting nowadays is really very, very challenging. And I, for one, I'm not only a teacher, but I'm also a parent. Okay. Parenting is really it's a very, very special and noble task, diba? Ever had a job where you had no experience, no training, you were not allowed to quit, and people's lives were at stake? And that's parenting, and it's 24/7. Now, more than ever, we parents, we now have a very huge, time to be with our kids, to be with our family at home. Most of us are working from home, and others are already reporting to their posts, especially if you are working as a public school teacher. And still, loco parentis were the second parents to our students in school. Now, the world nowadays is very, very challenging to be a teacher and to be a parent. We now live in a society where everything is so fast. Tama? Parents and teachers, I can see that from our viewers right now, they come from different parts of the Philippines. Different parts of the Philippines, yet our experience as parents and as teachers, I think we have a common goal, and that is to educate, keep educating, and of course, keep our children safe at home while educating them from home. Sige. And with that task of educating our kids at home, learning from home, is also a way of thinking what's going on around us nowadays. Diba? Ang dami-daming challenges nowadays brought to us by this pandemic and even for other factors, especially nowadays that we are facing a VUCA world. It's a VUCA world. When I think of a VUCA, I'm always reminded of that favorite movie of mine, The Total Recall, with Colin Farrell. I know that you've watched this movie. It's one of the best movie for me, and it's talking about the future. The movie about time by Justin Timberlake. It's one also of my favorite movie. It talks about the future, and of course, we don't know what's going to happen in the near future. And it's already 2021. Another year and another, a start point of another experience for everyone. Walang exempted because we are all going on this. We are all experiencing changes all around us. And even with the pandemic brought to us by COVID-19, these were all unexpected. COVID, it's unexpected. Ang dami-daming nangyayari, but for our generation, I think this is by far the most challenging for us. We've been preparing our students. We've been preparing our children. And for what for? We've been preparing our kids, our students in school, our children, our own children for the future. And the future is really a VUCA world. Diba? But let me walk you through with the term VUCA. We've been hearing this word every now and then. But VUCA is an acronym, an artificial word, first used in 1987 and based on the leadership theories of Warren Bennis and Bert Nanos. And it stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. It was the response of the U.S. Army War College to the collapse of the USSR in the early 1900s. And suddenly, there was no longer the only enemy. And now it resulted in new ways of seeing and reacting. After 1900s, we've been seeing different scenarios, different events happening. And most of these happenings and events are all unexpected. So that's where VUCA started. V, volatile, uncertain for you, C for complex, and A for ambiguous. And I took this from the website www.vucaworld.organization. And I think if you're going to Google it and search it over the internet, the acronym is still the same. The meaning of that acronym VUCA is still the same. It's volatile. It is uncertain. It is complex and ambiguous. Diba? When you're looking at it, ano ba ang mangyayari in the future? And I, as a parent, what will be my preparation in ensuring that my child will survive in a VUCA world? So in this short discussion of ours, we'll just give you tips maybe on how to prepare ourselves as parents in preparing our children also for the near future. Now, the term VUCA, it was first coined, as mentioned, by the U.S. Army College, and it was brought to business in 2010. Wala pang pandemic, nandito na po yung term na VUCA natin. And it describes the complex, and fast-paced, constantly changing nature of today's world. Diba? At the tip of our fingertip, ay, iba na. Iba ang ating nakagisnan noon, growing up. 1970s ka man, 1980s ka man, napakarami na nagbago. And those practices sometimes, especially on parenting, may at some point no longer applicable to the children that we have nowadays. Because everything is so fast. Everything keeps on changing. And what better way to face that reality is to embrace that we need to keep up and we need to survive and we need to adapt as parents and as teachers. Now, in VUCA, volatile, it means it's constantly changing. Now, the environment demands us to react quickly to ongoing changes that are unpredictable and out of our control. Everything is constantly changing, even how we dress. Even for those gadgets that we are using, it keeps on changing. I think the first cell phone that I had, ay parang safeguard ba, yung Alcatel. Diba? Meron pang mga malalaki, dati Alcatel, merong Nokia. And every year, maraming nagbabago, constantly changing. Even even for the language of the teachers, even for the language of the students, constantly it's changing. The terms and even those lessons that we are giving to our students, it's also changing. To stay relevant, everything must change. And so it demands us to react quickly so that we can we can adapt with it and we can go with the flow. Our world is uncertain. It's difficult to anticipate. Diba? May mga bagay na hindi natin na-anticipate teachers and parents eh. And the world is really very uncertain. The environment requires us to take action without certainty. We need to anticipate. Malayo pa lang. Kaya nga sabi sa isang episode ng Time Magazine, we are not yet ready for the next pandemic. Because right now, medyo nagkakapakapa pa tayo. Because the world is difficult to anticipate. We don't know what's gonna happen next. Diba? The world right now is complex. It's multi-layered. Ang dami-daming mga pagbabago. Ang dami-daming version. Complex. We are living in a very complex society right now. The environment is dynamic and with many interdependencies. Even how we think, it's very complex right now. Even for the lessons of our students, sa mga parents nakikita natin, ano ba itong math na ito ng anak ko? It's different from the math na meron ako before. Complex, multi-layered, and even ambiguous. It's no longer one size fits all. Diba? It's no longer one size fits all. What we've been practicing before, siguro hindi na ngayon po pwede. Our environment is unfamiliar and of course it's outside of our expertise. So we need to keep on adapting, we need to keep educating, and we need to stay relevant. Diba? It's uncertain. We are living in uncertain times because we don't know what's going to happen next. And as a parent, I mean, how do we prepare our students and our kids for that reality of our future? We are living in smart cities. Everything is now going digital. We are now interconnected at the tip of our fingertips, diba? Sa fingertips na diba? Ganito. And now we are now conversing with each other virtually. Everything is interdependent and everything is so fast right now. We are living in smart cities. And as a parent, how do we cope with that? How do we face that reality? That the future of our children is this. And how do we prepare our children for that? Okay? Now, Those things that we've been practicing as a parent, sabi, o maupo ka lang dyan, listen, or as a teacher, sit still, listen and take notes. That may no longer be applied for our students and for our children nowadays. Everything is possible. They can learn everything through online. Okay? And it takes, a skill of a parent, a skill of a teacher to nurture the gift of the children, to nurture the skills of the children to adapt. Sa dami-dami, may exponential na kasi yung mga nakikita natin over the web eh. And we need to balance also those informations that our children are getting. Okay? Now, as parents, what roles do we need to play? What new seeds do we need to plant? And what new choices do we need to make? What new skills do we need to teach for ourselves and our children? And of course, in the reality for a better tomorrow. Preparing our children for the VUCA world, there's also a counter po natin for that VUCA term. Okay? As parents, parenting, we do have different parenting styles. But when it comes to adaptability in that fast-paced, complex world that our children will be into, we need to prepare also them by having that vision. What are our visions for our children? As a parent, do you paint a picture of the future you want for your child? Ano ba ang nasa isip natin para sa ating mga anak in the future? As a parent, 10 years from now, ano na ba tayo as parent? Ano na ba ang mga anak natin in the future? We need to be visionary. We need to envision what's gonna be for our children in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. So we need to prepare them. It's the age of data analytics already. Whether we like it or not po, we should like it. Everything is running through data. And even on what we post on our social media accounts, data will also, anong tawag, may term doon, I forgot the term. Sige, maybe later, maalala ko yun. And it's the one picking choices for you. So once you click this and like this, all other page follows. If you click this particular product, or for example, you've liked a bank or maybe a shop online, then naglalagay sa newsfeed mo all of this na hindi ka naman nag-subscribe pero may mga suggestion. It's the age of data analytics. Everything is done online. And kahit ikaw, mapaprofile ka through information that you feed also over the net. So how do we prepare our children for that? As parents, of course, we need to guard our children. Cybersecurity matters a lot. We cannot do away from this. What we need is to envision how we prepare our children. Let's walk with them. And let's also be educated on what's going on so that we can properly guide our children. Diba? And of course, it's very, very important also to nurture the critical thinking of the students. Do away po tayo when it comes to spoon feeding. I understand that many parents wanted the best for their children and thus they wanted to give everything. But when it comes to learning, let the teachers and let the school educate the students on a higher level. If you just keep on giving questions, now what, who, where, those are just low level. But let us also encourage discussion at home, highlighting critical thinking. Why? How? Diba? Higher order thinking skills. Let's also strike conversation at home where children need to think. And when teachers give them questions, let the children analyze. Diba? I realize coming on this online platform and online classes, everything is available online. And teachers wanted, no, as much as we wanted to give opportunities for children to think outside of the box, critical thinking. Kasi later in the coming years and in the future, we need critical thinking leaders. Leaders that are thinking outside of the box. And we parents should guide this. What is our vision for our students? What is our vision for our kids, for our children? We need visionary parents. And what better way to prepare is now. Okay? Sometimes napapaisip din ako, meron akong anak and then I'm thinking, in 10 years time, kamusta na kaya ako? Will I stay healthy? Ano na kaya ang nalalearn ng mga bata? Ano na kaya ang nalalearn ng anak ko? Ano na kaya ang mga skills na kailangan niya? Whether we like it or not, we are getting old and our children are getting, lumalaki din sila and they need to survive with those skills that must be prepared today. Vision. As parents, we need to have a vision for our kids. And of course, number 2, VUCA. You. Sinabi kanina, it's unpredictable. But we as parents need to have the understanding. Let's understand the interconnection of things. Let's understand the interconnection of the different happenings right now. And even, we should understand also the language of our kids. Diba? Ang dami-dami nilang mga language ngayon eh. And sometimes, oh, what's that? What's that acronym? May mga language yung mga anak natin. LOL, diba? Oh, may mga FOMO. Know their language. Our kids, may iba silang lengguwahe na sometimes for us parents, iba ang pag-take natin. But these kids, they have their own set of friends. And as we parents guide them, let's have a way of understanding kids, especially if these are teenagers. No? May mga shifting na sa kanilang moods, may mga shifting na sa mga emotions nila, and nagiging choosy na rin sila with the type of friends na gusto nilang makasalamuha. Know the language of the students. Know the language of our teenagers, of our children. And of course, as parents, let us understand also the potential of technology, the potential of information technology. It's here now, and what better way for us is to go with it, understanding. Oh, ang dami-dami nilang mga language, yung nakata YOLO, you only live once. Diba? Ano pa ba yung mga alam natin na mga language of the youth? Okay. BRB. Anong BRB? Be right back. Diba? Or FOMO, fear of missing out. Ang dami-dami ng language. We need to get into the language and to the understanding of the children. Whether we like it or not, we need to understand them for us to to have a relationship with our kids. And even for the type of dress up nila, and even their choices, di ba, yung Blackpink na nagiging uso, meron pang, yung boy band, and even for them learning about Mobile Legends and playing Mobile Legends. Let's understand, ano ang mga interest ng mga bata. And for us parents, it's very difficult to get into there if we don't understand it. And the children will not relate to us if we don't understand them as well. Diba? You cannot say to the child ngayon, oh, ganito, ganito. And you cannot even discipline a child without even establishing this relationship at first. Diba? What better way to have that link is for us to create a relationship. And now, more than ever, we have this opportunity to be with our kids at home. Okay? Understand. Let's understand our children. Okay, yeah? So yung kanina, it's volatile. But for us parents, we should have a vision. Yes, it is unpredictable. But for us parents, we need understanding. We need to understand also the situation of our kids. Okay? And of course, clarity. We need to have that sense of clarity with our children. Clarity. Focus on what counts. Right now at home as parents, ano ba yung mga importante? Let's focus on what counts. Sa bahay, ano ba ang importante ngayon sa bahay when our kids are staying at home? Focus on what counts. Relationship. Let's establish relationship with our kids at home. Let's make this an opportunity to build values as well. To have that, maybe before, hindi tayo nagkaroon ng opportunity to relate with them because we're very, very busy and we leave them to school and now they are at home. Maybe let us refocus again. What counts in the family? Time ba? Opportunity ba? Dati, you've been very, very busy also, but now you're working from home. Focus on what counts. After all, ang mga bata nangangailangan ng presence ng nanay. Somebody that they can lean on. Moral courage. It's time also for us to build that. Courage, moral courage to our children. Di ba? Nagiging very, very fast-paced na nga tayo. Everything is so fast. But sometimes, we missed some links. Especially those values na kailangan nakikerry pa rin ng bata. Di ba? Especially the value of respect, responsibility, being polite, being courteous. Those values sometimes na-forget ng mga bata. Kasi ito yun ito yun. We are in a modern world. Yes, we are in a modern world, but we also need to be rooted. Diba? Kailangan balikan natin yung ating mga roots and the values that kailangan ma-possess natin as individuals and as Filipino people. Teach independent skills, especially life skills. Kailangan po ng mga bata ng life skills. Kasi tayo tumatanda. Sila naman, they're growing up. And if we parents keep on giving them everything, spoon feeding, lahat-lahat binibigay natin, we are showing them that we love them and we support them. But at some point, lalaki silang walang skills. Diba? At an early age, let's teach clarity to our children. At an early age, make this an opportunity to learn basic life skills at home. Marunong bang mag-ayos ng gamit kahit sa playtime? Marunong ba ang batang maglagay ng mga tamang bagay sa magligpit? Marunong ba ang batang sumunod in the routines? Life skills, very easy. Sabihin mo ganito, how do you keep up with your toys? How do you, after eating, ano yung mga routines natin? Mga skills. And how do you strike conversation? Kapag nag-uusap ba, how do you teach that to your kids? Kailangan ba pumapasok sila sa usapan ng mga matatanda, especially right now? It's also life skills. Tayo bang parents, are we teaching our kids to listen? Kasi lahat ng nagagawa ng mga bata, nakakopy niya sa mga matatanda. It's really true. I always look into my experience with my child, and kung ano ang language niya, sinasabi ko, part of that, language ko. Kasi, tatlo lang naman kami sa bahay. And the conversations na meron ng mag-asawa, sometimes may mga conversation na hindi dapat naririnig ng bata. Diba? And may mga comments tayo sometimes na nakakatch nila. Hindi tayo aware, but nagiging part ng language ng bata. So even in conversation during mealtime, let's also choose topics for discussion. And yung pagpasok ng bata in the conversation, ito usapan ng matatanda. Nag-i-interact ba ang bata when you are discussing? That's an opportunity for parents also to teach. Because we are building kids, we are building students that later on are with very good social skills. And one strategy to develop social skills is the skill to listen. If you don't know how to listen, you don't know how to answer as well. Diba? So those are basic life skills that the kids should learn at an early age. And maybe growing up. And lahat niya nakokopya. And it's really, really true. Tayo will always mirror our children because the voice of the children are our voice, whether we like it or not. And of course, let us teach children of their own self-knowledge and their self-identity. We don't limit our children with their, creativity. Creativity starts at an early age. 2, 3, 4, 5, those are years for the children to nourish, flourish, and develop their creativity skills. So, kailangan alam ng bata, what's my identity? Diba? Ako, for example, I'm the eldest in the family. What are the roles that I play? I'm a girl or I'm a boy or regardless alam dapat ng bata yung identity niya. May self-knowledge siya, especially ng kaya niyang gawin. And yung mga growing up years, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, it's a age of exploration. They wanted to try. And as parents, let's guide them. Let's unleash the creativity of our children. Sabi nga ng isang brand ng milk, di ba? Nurture the gift. Explore. Experience. Hindi ko na sasabihin yung brand. Alam nyo na yon. Self-knowledge and self-identity. Let's build that po. Kasi kailangang ma-learn ng mga bata. We will not be there for them forever po. Okay? Clarity. And of course, ang VUCA, adaptability and agility. Let's facilitate innovation. Let's teach collaboration at home. Kahit na sa gawaing bahay. In the future, yun ang mga skills na needed in the next, by 2030, those are the skills na kailangan ng mga bata. They need to innovate, innovative thinking. Look at Google, di ba? Very innovative. Kailangan outside of the box. Let's facilitate innovation at home. Let's teach children to collaborate. Even sa bahay. Even sa gawaing bahay, let's teach collaboration. Ikaw ngayon ang nagbugas, mamaya ikaw naman. Kasi later they will work in teams whether they like it or not. They will be working with different people. And one way for them is to be collaborative as well. Learning how to listen and learning how to take turns. Failure is normal. Let's teach our children. Kasi wala namang nagiging successful without, di ba, without passing that stage of failure. Kailangan ma-learn din ng bata ang, may mga, kailangan may mga ano rin may mga mararanasan din siyang hindi maganda along the way for his or her capacity and ability later na mag-bounce back. So failure is normal. Kung nagkamali ang bata, it's an opportunity to learn. Kaya nga hindi rin maganda na lahat-lahat binibigay natin sa ating mga anak. O ikaw palaging dapat ang the best. And I think for parenting, we are conditioning our kids not to fail because we always say, you should always be the best. Ikaw kailangan ito kailangan ganito. Failure is normal. And as parents, we need to understand it first. Because whether we like it or not, there are things that hindi natin nagawa before that we wanted our kids to do. So para na rin sinasabi mo, I didn't do it before, so you do it now. Failure is normal. Let's teach po our children to realize the value of losing so that, the value of winning will be more sweeter. Okay? And nurture emotional resilience. I hope our generation right now will have that emotional resiliency. Kung may problema, let's teach our children to speak up. Diba? Let's teach and guide our children as parents. Kung hindi natin na-start yan at an early age, it will be very difficult for the children to open up to you when they are already grown ups. Diba? Everything starts at home. Let's build emotional resilience. Kung nagkamali, accept, and then let's learn from it. And from there, magkakaroon ng trust ang bata. No? Maniniwala siya sa sarili niya and mapaprocess niya whatever emotions na meron siya. In a professional world, we need also emotional resilience. Kasi hindi lahat ng tao pabor sa atin. Hindi lahat ng tao gusto tayo. And how do we face them? We should have that high emotional resiliency to overcome that. Diba, teachers, diba, parents? Even for husband and wife relationship, kailangan din natin ng emotional resilience, yung bounce back ability ba natin, that no matter what, nandito ako and I will face it. Okay? And of course, the next one is ability to get along with others. Adaptability. Whether we like it or not, the future needs collaboration and ability to get along with others. And that's, of course, the social skills that we need to nurture. Okay? So as parent, how do we counter that VUCA? Diba? We need to have that vision. We need to have that understanding. We need to have that clarity and we need to have that adaptability. But for parents, in order to be, equipped with that, of course, no parent is perfect. Walang parent na talagang perfect ang parenting niya. Kasi we're all learning as parents, di ba? Kasi we're nurturing a human being. So we're not perfect. We're learning also from each other. But for us parents, let's have extra grit and self-care. Take care of ourselves po. Let's have that extra grit and self-care. Kailangan din nating alagaan ang ating mga sarili. From time to time, kailangan din nating time na tayo lang so that we can process also everything that's going, nag-happen sa atin. Maybe for mothers like me, maybe we can go to a salon, or maybe have some coffee sesh with our friends. Kailangan din na may time alone tayo. Do self-care. Magpaganda kung kailangan magpaganda. Kaya ako napaputol ako ng buhok. Though sometimes, you know, it's okay to treat yourself once in a while as parent. Dahil ang pagiging magulang is very, very taxing. And even for us teachers, talaga. Marirealize mo lang pag ikaw parent na. No? And it's amazing to be a parent. It's an extra special gift. And of course, get educated and be ever ready. As a parent, we're looking forward for this, but let's be educated and be ever ready. Kaya, when nag-learn tayo ng TikTok, alam natin yung mga social media networks, let's be educated also to learn the language of our children, whether you like it or not po. Although, wala pa akong TikTok, but I'm looking into, again pa rin yung TikTok. Ang saya, ano? Okay, sige. And of course, as parents, facing the future is really unpredictable. But what we can do right now to help us also is to be an active listener to our children. We cannot impose those practices that we have in the past to our generation right now because this is everything I want now generation. It's an I generation. So, yung mga ating strategy, you know, when I was your age, iba naman yung ating situation before that we have limited opportunity before, especially when it comes to gadgets and everything. Everything now, nasa kamay ng mga bata eh. So what we can do is to be an active listener. Kapag tayo po ay nakikinig sa ating mga anak, sila din po ay magle-learn how to open up. And that can give us a very good relationship, parent-child relationship. We live in a VUCA world. It's unpredictable. But what better way for us parents is to believe that going there, we are preparing our children. Sabi nga, prepare the child for the road and not the road for the child. Diba? Let's prepare. Let's prepare the child for the road and not the road for the child. Kasi we will not be there forever. Diba? So those are the short maybe enlightenment for us this evening. And of course, I always thank Vibal for the many wonderful opportunities given to me here at Vibal. So again, I'm Teacher Donah. So thank you very much for being with me for a very short time only. And of course, always remember, parenting in the VUCA world will take not only as the parent in me, but also the teacher in me, the teacher in you, and the parent in you also. So thank you very much. And I don't know if we still have time to accommodate, but I thank you very much for all of our teachers and our parents who are here watching with us live in this Learn at Home session here at Bebal. I hope po that you're having a good dinner. And I hope po at some point ay nakapagbigay po tayo ng enlightenment and even tips for our parents. If there are questions, I think maybe we can entertain pa. Miss Jillian?
Thank you very much, ma'am. Do you have any last reminders for our viewers today?
Yung anak ko. Siguro, let's always, embrace change, and because change is inevitable, yung anak ko po. Change is inevitable, and whether we like it or not, we are moving in another decade na naman ng mga pagbabago, and we cannot control. But we keep on educating ourselves. We keep on innovating to stay relevant. Just like what teachers. We keep on innovating. We keep on keeping up with everything, and we need to understand everything for us to be better parents, learning parents, and of course, teachers as well. And I thank you very much, our teachers. Please po, always follow po the many webinars offered by Bebal, because I know these webinars are always at the service of the Filipino teachers and parents too. So thank you also, Miss Jillian and Miss Sandra.
There we have it. In behalf of Bibal Group Incorporated, I would like to thank our speaker for today for this very eye-opening, insightful, and relatable learning session. It is an honor to have you with us today, ma'am. And to all our Kavibal viewers, all thanks to you for your continuous patronage to our daily learning session. Muli, maraming salamat at magandang araw sa ating lahat.
Good evening. Goodbye.